Act as my wife, the Mafia boss ordered. Yet his only condition left her speechless. Hey my amazing story family. Before we begin, please take 1 second to like, share, subscribe, and drop a sweet comment for me. Your support means the world to me. We are growing together, story by story, and you are part of this family. Now let's dive in. Because today's story is one you will feel. A story of danger. A story of secrets. A story of a girl who walked into the world of a mafia heir and found herself standing between fear and destiny. Stay with me till the end. Trust me, you'll want to know how this ends. Casara Bloom never asked for trouble. She lived quietly, worked quietly, survived quietly. At La Rosa Bleu, the most expensive restaurant in the city, she was nothing more than the girl who served tables. Polite, calm, soft-spoken, invisible. Customers shouted. She bowed. Customers complained. She apologized. She never snapped. She never raised her voice. Not once. She was the kind of girl people forgot the moment she walked away. Until the night he walked in. The doors opened, and silence followed him in. Damien Carvalho. The name alone made people look away. Cold. Powerful. Feared. The only heir to the Carvalho empire. He didn't need guards to prove who he was. But he had them anyway. And behind him, his closest friend, Kyan. Sharp eyes. Calm steps. A man who trusted no one. They walked into the restaurant like shadows that swallowed the room. Casara didn't dare look at them. She simply stood by her tray, her heart beating too fast, while trying to hide it. Then something happened. 3 men walked in. Slow. Silent. Eyes trained on Damien. Not here to attack. No weapons raised. But their message was clear. We are watching you. Kyan saw them first. His stare turned cold. Damien didn't look afraid. He never did. But what caught his attention most was Casara. While everyone else panicked quietly, she stayed calm. Steady hands. Slow breaths. Soft voice. Her calmness in the middle of tension made Damien look at her again. Longer this time. Something about her silence. Something about her peace pulled him in. When Damien stood up to leave, the entire restaurant turned stiff. Casara stepped back, lowering her eyes. He stopped beside her table, close enough for her to feel his presence, but not close enough to touch her. He slid a black card across the table. His voice was low. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., come alone. Her heart froze. Kyan's eyes hardened immediately. He didn't trust this girl, not even a little. Damien didn't look back as he walked away. Casara picked up the card with trembling hands. She knew who he was. She knew what his world looked like. She knew the danger tied to his name. And yet, she still decided to go. Because something told her. This meeting would change everything. Casara held the card all night, her hands still shaking. And by the next afternoon, she found herself standing in front of the Carvalho mansion. A place that looked more like a fortress than a home. Guards at every corner. Security cameras following her every step. The air heavy with the kind of silence people feared. She was led through long halls where no one smiled. No one spoke. And every shadow felt like it had eyes. Then a door opened. And there he was, Damien. Standing beside an older man lying weakly on a large bed. Dario Carvalho. The name every city feared. Even sick, his presence felt powerful, like he could command a room without lifting a finger. Damien's voice was calm but firm as he spoke, telling her the truth she never expected to hear. The Mafia Council was pressuring him, his father was dying, and with his final strength he wanted one thing, stability. A wife for his son, a future for the Carvalho name. Damien looked at her with eyes that held more weight than emotion. I need someone believable, he said, and for the first time she understood this wasn't about romance. This was about power, duty, legacy. But then he stepped closer, close enough for her to feel the cold strength of his world. While you wear my ring, he said quietly, you are under my protection. No one touches you. No one questions you. And you stay beside me at all times. The words were simple, but the meaning wasn't. It was a promise and a warning. Kasara nodded, her heart pounding, knowing there was no turning back now. But Kyan, standing near the door, didn't hide his reaction. His jaw tightened. His eyes narrowed. He didn't trust her, not even a little, and the tension rolling off him filled the room like smoke. He watched every breath she took, every move Damien made, every silent shift between them. And when Damien dismissed her for the evening, Kyan didn't wait. He pulled Damien aside the second she was gone, his voice low, sharp, protective. Bringing a civilian into this world is dangerous, he warned, the jealousy clear in his eyes, not because he wanted her, but because he feared Damien was letting someone inside the walls he'd kept closed his whole life. And for the first time, Damien didn't walk away from the danger. He walked toward it. Kyan's warning still hung in the air when the next morning came, and Kasara stepped into the full weight of the Carvalho estate. Guards standing like statues, their eyes following her every move. Family members whispering behind half-closed doors. The hierarchy of the Mafia world pressing down on her like a quiet storm. Yet Damien never left her side, his presence both a shield and a silent statement that she belonged beside him. The questions began the moment she entered the main hall. Sharp questions about loyalty, cold questions about how long she had been married. Council elders trying to intimidate her with their stares, testing her voice, testing her spirit, but Kasara stayed calm, answering softly, breathing slowly, carrying the same quiet strength Damien noticed in the restaurant, refusing to break under pressure. Then the warning started. A black car followed theirs when they left the estate briefly. A small crack appeared on the back window of Damien's car, a message more than an attack. Someone tried to corner her in a hallway before a guard stepped in immediately. Another guard reported an attempted breach at the back gate. There was no blood, no fight, just danger circling them like wolves, and Damien's eyes darkened as he turned to Kyan and said in a low voice, "Lock down the estate." The air shifted instantly as orders spread through the mansion. Later that night, when the halls were quiet and the fear finally caught up with her, Damien spoke to her in a way she didn't expect, telling her about his father's decline, the weight of the legacy he never asked for, and how loneliness became the only thing he trusted, except for Kyan. Kyan saw it too, the way Damien softened around her, the way his guard dropped for the first time in years. And it made Kyan even more protective, watching her with sharper eyes, trying to understand why she mattered this much. And just when the house finally fell silent, a guard rushed in with a small envelope left at the gate. Damien opened it, and the message inside made the room colder. "Your wife will bring your downfall." The message lay open in Damien's hand when the family gathered that evening, and tension thickened the air as one of his cousins stepped forward with a sharp tongue and colder intentions, pointing straight at Kasara and accusing her of being a spy, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. But before Kasara could speak, Damien turned with a look that froze the entire room and said, "Accuse her again, and you answer to me." The silence that followed so heavy that even the walls seemed to listen, because Damien Carvalho never defended outsiders, never raised his voice, never showed emotion, yet here he was, standing in front of Kasara like a shield. Kyan saw everything, and the moment they stepped into the hallway he confronted Damien, anger mixing with fear in his voice as he said, "You're changing. This girl is pulling you off your path." And for the first time in years Damien snapped, his voice sharp and unfiltered as he fired back, "You don't decide who I trust." The words cutting deeper because Kyan had never heard that tone from him, not once, and the shock between them created a distance colder than the threats outside their gates. Kasara found Damien alone afterward, his shoulders tense, his breath unsteady, and when she placed her hand gently on his arm, he didn't pull away. He let her stay. He let her comfort him. He let someone touch the parts of him he had locked away from the world, and that single moment felt more dangerous than anything the Mafia had ever thrown at him. But danger didn't wait. The next day, as their car rolled toward the estate gates, another vehicle swerved in front of them, blocking the road, men stepping out with the clear intention to intimidate, not attack, guards rushing forward, shouting for them to stay back. The scene filled with fear, but no blood, no injuries, only the heavy promise of what could happen. And in the middle of it, Damien reached for Kisara and pulled her close, holding her against him as if she were the only thing that kept him anchored. The guards pushed the threat back within seconds, clearing the way, but Damien didn't let go of her until they were safely inside the gates again, his breath still uneven, his voice low and unguarded as he whispered, "I can't lose you," not realizing that for the first time, he had admitted he cared. Damien's whisper still echoed in her chest the next morning when a guard approached Kisara quietly and told her Dario Carvalho wanted to see her alone, and her heart twisted because the old man's room felt heavier than before, the air thick with the weight of a legacy she wasn't born into. Dario's voice was weak but sharp enough to cut through silence, and he told her he knew everything. He knew the marriage was a contract. He knew she never belonged to their world, and he knew Damien had burned the contract the night she arrived, leaving her completely free. Free to walk away. Free to return to her old life. Free to escape the danger wrapped around the Carvalho name. He warned her softly, telling her the Mafia world was not a place for someone as gentle as her, that staying with his son could cost her safety, her peace, even her life. But then his expression softened, and with the little strength he had left he whispered, "My son's heart beats because of you." Those words broke something inside her, and when she stepped out of his room, she already knew her choice. She chose Damien, not because he needed her, but because she couldn't imagine walking away. Her loyalty settled deep, the kind the Mafia respected more than power itself. The council meeting followed. A room filled with men who didn't blink twice at destroying lives, and the moment Kisara entered, whispers rose like smoke. They accused her of distraction, manipulation, weakness, but Damien stood before her, shoulders straight, voice cold and steady as he said, "She is mine. Challenge her, and you challenge me." And the entire room shifted because no Carvalho heir had ever spoken like that. Not with emotion, not with fire, not with that level of public dominance. The council backed down, but the tension hung between the walls like a threat waiting to strike. When the meeting ended and the doors closed behind them, Damien walked in silence, his steps slow, his eyes unreadable, because even after she stood with him, even after she faced the council at his side, a part of him still feared she might walk away now that she understood the true price of being with him. 6 months later, everything had changed in ways no one in the Carvalho Empire expected. The once restless streets now quiet under Damien's rule, a peace earned not through fear alone, but through the steadiness he gained with Kisara by his side. And though he was still feared, still the name people whispered carefully, he was no longer cold. He carried warmth now, a softness hidden behind sharp edges, a softness only she ever saw. Kyan walked beside him at every meeting, loyal as always, but now with a rare smile that appeared whenever he looked at the two of them, a smile that said he finally understood Damien had found the one thing even power couldn't give. Dario, though weaker, lived long enough to sit in the front row on the day Damien and Kisara married, his eyes shining with pride as he watched his son stand tall with someone who didn't come from their world but somehow held the heart of it. Even the Mafia Council, men who once doubted her, now nodded with respect whenever Kisara entered a room, because she brought balance to Damien, peace to the empire, and a quiet strength no one could deny. She became the emotional heart of the family, the soft voice that soothed storms, the calm that kept Damien grounded, the light woven into shadows that once swallowed him whole. And as the night of their small, intimate wedding came to an end, Damien pulled her close, his forehead resting gently against hers as he whispered, "You weren't born into my world, but you became the only part of it that matters." And for the first time, the world that once terrified her felt like home. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end, my amazing story family. If you're reading this right now, please know something: you matter here. Your presence, your time, your support, it means more than I can ever explain. I hope you felt every emotion in this story. I hope it kept you hooked, curious, and connected from start to finish. And I hope you'll keep coming back, because this channel isn't just a place. It's our home, a family we are building together, story by story. Before you go, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop a sweet comment for me. Your engagement helps this family grow bigger and stronger every day. Let me ask you something. What part of this story touched you the most? Was it Damien's confession, Kasara's bravery, or the ending that brought everything full circle? Tell me in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts. Thank you again, my story family. Until the next one, stay safe, stay loved, and stay with us.